So if you slow down and pay attention to how frequently throughout the day you are actually practicing having a problem with what is, you can actually get really excited about that, because every one of those is an opportunity to use a mantra or just simply make your own damn mantras up, right? But the point is to upgrade your response in that moment to life so that you can get back to elevated states which activate all forms of intelligence. All the intelligence centers of the brain are activated from high grade states like enthusiasm and gratitude, right? And others.
Welcome back to our show, Empower Your Life. I'm your host, Cindy Marie. Our next guest, he has started his career as a social worker, helping mentally ill, drug addicted, homeless people upgrading their lives, to now known as Mental Toughness Coach, who's been helping many athletes, many coaches, many business executives, and many more. He's also an author, a podcast host as well with Mental Toughness. And on this show, on this episode, I'm super honored. I'm truly grateful that I have the opportunity for us to cover more about his upcoming, it just published today, as what he said, his book, third book, The Mental Toughness Mantra. So as you know from the title itself, we're going to cover a lot of mantras that will battle-proof our daily circumstances that we feel trapped or we feel victim. This is a great conversation that we're going to have. So without further ado, I'm super excited to welcome our next guest, Chris Dorris, also known as CD. I don't know how should I address you. So welcome, Chris or CD.
My friends all call me CD, and you are my friends, so that works. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity, CD. I'm truly honored.
You're very gracious. I really love the word battle-proof that you just used right there. That's really awesome. I'm going to steal that from you. Yeah, that's what it's doing. That's what these mantras do. Mental toughness mantras is that's such a great word. I love that. I'm totally going to be using that. The mental training is to have you be battle-proof. Like the result is that you're battle-proof so that you can deal and respond masterfully to what most people can respond to in life as like a battle, when in fact it's not a battle, it just is. And if I can respond, if I can strengthen my response ability, I'll see that it's not a battle, it's a circumstance that can be created. That's brilliant. Thank you for that.
Oh, that's not coming from me. That's actually coming from Robin Sharma.
Well, through you. Okay. So
okay. I'll take that from our conversation.
I'm deleting that. I'm crediting you, Cindy Marie, for the battle-proof concept, and I'm going to use it.
Thank you. Awesome. For a lot of people who don't know you, of course, I'm pretty sure you have introduced yourself from many interviewers. So share with us actually how you transition from social worker, because that's an amazing story. And then you have this awakening turning point to now amazing mental toughness coach. So share with us, how does that started?
So all right. Yeah, it's really fundamentally only been one path. My whole career, I committed very, very early. Before I even graduated from college, I made the commitment that I'm dedicating my life to serving people by helping them stop settling for less than what they're capable of and for less than what they want. I was committed to helping them stop struggling unnecessarily, and even worse, suffering unnecessarily. So really that is what my life has been committed to for the entirety of my adult life, and deep into my youth as well, is helping people stop struggling, stop settling, stop suffering. So when I became a social worker because the job was available, and and I was out of college. I didn't really know. In fact, I had no clarity on what really my passion path was. But I was committed to taking as much damn time as I needed to figure that out. So I was still serving people. Right? I picked a career that was helping humans. It didn't pay anything. It was terrible salary. Pathetic, hard work, and a perfect foundation right? Helping people that were really suffering, struggling tremendously.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from that experience, because one of the things that I learned is that even in the darkest of times, if you choose to summon the strength to care for yourself, even in small ways, it's like the universe conspires to help you. So that's a big deal. So, you know, it's just when you're down, the easiest thing to do is stay down. The easiest thing to do is wallow. The easiest thing to do is complain. The easiest thing to do is have pity for yourself and to stay in the darkness. But those people who summon the strength to care for themselves, even in small ways, seem to get the good breaks. That was one of the big lessons, one of the many big lessons. But what happened was very serendipitous. I was a basketball player all my life. So at nighttime, I'm going and playing these casual playground pickup basketball games after I do my social work, right? So one night, November 20th, 1990, to be precise, it was November 20th, 1991. I shattered my leg playing basketball. It was a very, very, very bad compound fracture of my left tibia and fibula. And the bone came out of the skin. It was really, really bad. Unless it wasn't. But it wasn't.
Maybe back then it was really bad.
Yeah, and right now it's perfect. So thank God for it. But we'll get to that. So like, the problem became the gift, seriously. So that's a little foreshadowing for us. But yeah, at the moment it was horrible. And I ended up getting an infection that went to my lungs, gave me I got a fatty embolism, which gave me a pneumonia and a really high fever. And I was on an ice blanket for a week. I almost died. So I recovered. And after that, I decided that's enough basketball. I've played basketball since 5th grade. I'm good. I'm going to hang it up. I'm going to go a different direction with my sports enthusiasm. And I decided to start playing golf. And I got really, really into it. I love sports. I mean, I love sports. I've always been active in sports, always. And I follow sports and I play sports. So golf became my new passion. It didn't take me very long, Cindy Marie, to discover how mental that damn game is. Okay?
I agree.
Right? So then I had the discovery while playing, this could be my path.
Nice.
Like, oh my God, what if I married my passion for like human potential and service with my passion for sports? Man, that could be my ticket. And it was. So thank God I broke my leg. And so then I came out to Arizona to go to graduate school. And I ended up creating an internship while I was here with the men's golf team at Arizona State University. And that internship had never existed before. It's a great story if we want to get to it at some point today. It's a great story.
It is, actually. I want
you know
to tackle that one. Yes.
You know
it's in the book, remember?
You know everything. Oh, okay. On the Ultimate Coach. Is it in the Ultimate Coach?
No, it's in the when all
boats rise. All boats rise. Right. Yeah, it's such a good story. So yeah, so I'll just finish this part of the question or answer to your question, which is the career development. But it's always the through line is service. So it took different iterations. So it was like social work. And I came here and I was starting a sports psychology practice. It was taking a little while. Meanwhile, I got licensed as a therapist. So I was still working with people who were struggling hard. Like I was working in jails with gang kids and stuff. Wow. And so I was really getting more really cool training, helping people who are struggling hard, you know, while I was creating my own gig. And then my own gig took off and I was working with athletes all over the world, primarily golfers. And then some of those golfers were business people. And they said, yeah, you got to come take this mental toughness stuff into my work, into my sales teams, because they need it. I said, all right. And then that opened up my whole career, you know. So now I'm working all over the planet with like, you know, multi-billion-dollar companies, helping them kick ass by getting their minds right, by strengthening the way, like you know, I just talked about a minute ago, strengthening the way that they respond to life. Right. So fundamentally, what we're in discussion about today, my work, Cindy Marie, is about helping people strengthen their response-ability.
Yes.
Responsibility. Their ability to respond to life with grace, mastery, creative genius, enthusiasm, so I can get to the creation of excellence faster with less effort. That's a long answer to your question.
I love, I mean,
but I
sorry,
stayed with it, but I stayed with one thing, like the through line through the different iterations of my vocation is clear, and it's serving people. It's just serving humans, helping them have their lives be better. More specifically, through strengthening the way they use their minds. It was initially, social work, but then it became therapy, and now sport, and then sports psychology, and now coaching.
yeah, thank you. I just want to tackle a little bit back to where you are right now, how it actually transformed there, because it's pretty short and precise, but I want to make sure that people understand the hard work that you put an effort to get there, because nowadays people would want, I guess, after or during the pandemic, a lot of coaches suddenly arise, right? But also understanding that it requires a lot of work, and when you are not in the heart of service, then it will be difficult for you even to create the client. So in that sense of, because it happens that you have this heart of service, and it's already gift with you. So a little bit piece of maybe tips there for new coaches out there that's struggling to find what they call niche, right? What can you share about that? People struggling with the niche.
It's so funny because I still find myself explaining constantly what mental toughness means to people.
Yeah.
Right. That's my niche.
Yeah.
Or niche, whatever the hell we're saying. That's my shtick. It's my brand. And I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. To me, it's cool and it's accurate, but it also requires some explanation. Which I have no problem with. In fact, I love that. Like when I get to explain what it means, but without me even going into that, I'm answering your question, which is all I would advise people is to trust the organizing intelligence inherent within your passion. So mental toughness is my passion. You could call it anything. You could call it emotional mastery. You could call it whatever the hell you want. All right. I'm just calling it mental toughness because I love it. So I love that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what your passion is, get clear on it and trust that within it are all the ingredients that would ever be necessary for incredible levels of success. And you'll activate those mechanics. The mechanics for success are inherent within your passions, pre-packaged like software in a computer. And if you'll activate those mechanics will remain dormant if you don't take some action, like turn on the computer, for God's sake. So it's like, if you will not wait. Waiting is the number one mistake that I have observed human beings making in the pursuit of their desires. So in this case, in the pursuit of their thriving coaching practices, waiting for all kinds of things, waiting so many things, waiting for more training, waiting. And I'm not saying training yourself is a problem, just don't wait, just continue. I'm always training. I'll never stop training. I'm always going to be, I'm always sharpening the saw. But don't wait to start serving people. And that's the second thing is prioritize service. Well, we were just talking about Steve Hardison. I can't remember who it was. Just yesterday, I was reading or listening to a video of someone that was a client of his, and it might have been J.P. Morgan, John Morgan. It might have been him. He's really prolific, writes so much great stuff. Anyway, he was in session with Steve, and he's talking about building his practice and not having clarity on how to build his practice. And Steve just said to him, like a monk, like a Buddhist monk, right? Just delivering a cone. He said, we'll say it's JP. He said, JP, what do painters do? It was JP. What do painters do? And he goes, they paint? Like, yeah. And he goes, what do writers do? He goes, they write. He goes, yeah. And Steve says, what do coaches do? And JP's like, I'm asking about how to get my clients though. And Steve just stood his ground there and said, just coach people. Yeah, but where do I just coach people? But how do I get my just coach people? Be committed to doing that. And make a huge, serve the hell out of them. I mean, look, we could say a whole lot more on the mechanics of how to build your practice, like all these.
Yeah.
Just go get the ultimate. I mean, I'm sorry, we'll get the ultimate coach, but get the prosperous coach.
Prosperous coach. Yeah.
There's nothing in the world better. There's nothing as far as like a book or resource with more concise, specific practices, disciplines, 18 of them to be precise, on how to build a prosperous coaching practice. And that the prosperous coach, get that. Those of you who are listening to this or watching, coaches who want to build a practice or build your current practice or create one. But prioritize serving. Just go serve the hell out of people. You know,
I'm into that. I've encountered this many times with a lot of people. I'm connecting with coaches, and they're always talking about this niche. And I was like, or niche, I don't know. And I was like, just serve, just coach people. I mean, the more you stop yourself and figure things out, you are stuck yourself there. You're not even practicing your service. So, and they're like what you said, but
I know, but the questions are legitimate. Like the questions that are, you said, well, just go serve. And I'm like, the other person's like, you're not hearing me. I get but where do I find the people to serve? Like, okay, so that's all right. So we can go into that, right, for a second, if you really insist, in your life. Right. So as Steve Chandler always says, slow down. If you'll slow down, you'll realize all your clients, your prospects, they're already in your world. If you'll just slow down enough, you'll see that.
Yeah. So there you go.
Live in the inquiry. Live in the inquiry. Have it always be open. The question is, the next person whose path I cross, whether it's virtually through an email or a LinkedIn invite, or it could be somebody at the grocery store, is it someone that I could potentially serve? Live in the question.
Amazing. There you go, everyone. You heard that from our mental toughness coach. Just get the prosperous coach. But if you would like to get more details, you can definitely reach out to Chris, Dorris, or CD. Anyway. We're going to talk more about the mantra now, the book itself, and you have the copy. Hallelujah. I'm so happy. No, you have it. There you go, guys. You can see it.
Well, this is the proof. This is the author proof. That's why it says not for release. So I think I'm not allowed to let go of it. Is that what that means? I can't release this? This is a proof copy, but just I got this 2 days ago and looked around and looked at it and said, Amazon, it's good to go. Let it rip. And last night while I was sleeping, they sent me the note saying your book is live. So we are good to go. The book, I'm going to steal this from Steve Chandler. Instead of it being called the book of mental toughness mantras, we're going to call it the book.
The book of mental toughness mantras. So, okay, CD, as everyone do, you have an inspiration. Obviously, you are already the mental toughness coach, and this is not your first book. So I'm curious, how does this creation started? Is it like out of conversation? And so share with us the inspiration behind our story of this.
Well, let me tell you, let me have that be the second part. Okay, the first part, let me just give a tiny little bit about what is this book? Like, what is this even? Then how did it happen? Okay, so what it is a toolbox. You mentioned that. So, right, this literally is a toolbox. So we'll use the analogy of a master craftsman. I actually use that analogy in the intro. A master craftsman builds amazing stuff. And a master craftsman's toolbox is very impressive. Like they have a lot of really amazing tools, many of which do very, very similar things, but not identical. Like this master craftsman might have like 14 different saws and all the saws, they cut stuff, but not the same stuff and maybe not the same exact way. So the point is that these tools are very specifically, they're incredibly useful in certain circumstances. And all the tools together are what permit the craftsman to create their excellence with efficiency, create beauty, and to do it as quick as possible. Even when speed's not an issue, it's how you can do it faster with less error and less effort. Right? Having the right tools. So that's a perfect metaphor. So what this book is a toolbox of 52 tools
Oh, you go.
that will help you craft excellence in your own life. And each of these mantras, some of these mantras are useless for certain circumstances, but they're perfect for others. And you'll be the governor of that. But I help you decide, because what I do is I list the tools, right? The mantras. And then I explain what they mean, right? And some stories of where they came from. And that's a segue into the second part of the answer. So it's a toolbox to help you get your mind right so you can rapidly create your desires with efficiency, fun, and speed, and less effort. Okay, because they help you get your mind right. And when your mind's right, as Lao Tzu said, when your mind's right, the rest of your life falls into place. So, you know how long it took to craft this book, Cindy Marie?
I don't
27
know.
years. 27 years. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because that's how long I've been doing this work, maybe 30. Okay. And during most of these mantras were co-created in conversation, many of them in this very office, which is where I do a lot of live coaching, right? So my clients, this is my office, the captain's quarters. I sit over there in the rocking chair. So there's a lot of boat stuff in here. And that's where my clients sit, in this nice comfy chair with an ottoman. And a lot of the these mantras were co-created in conversation and coaching. Right? And the mantras are like, ain't bad, just is. Nervous can't exist in service, right? Living above the O-line. So there's worry is a misuse of imagination. That one's not mine. I took that from somebody. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. That one's not mine either. Move the doubt right out. That one's mine. Best damn day of my life. That one I recreated. Sometimes the fastest way to get there is to slow down. We were just talking about slowing down.
Yeah, yes.
Right? You know, when we choose enthusiasm, the world opens up for us. You can't create from a low-grade state.
Love that.
Right? Complaining is stupid. If it ain't light, it ain't right. This is the best damn thing could have happened. Move towards. And there's a vibe up. There's 52 of them. Okay. So they came up in the work over 3 decades. So after a while, I'm like, I'm dropping all these, and I actually didn't have any shirts yet. I'm just dropping them in conversation. And my trainer, his name is Billy Woodmancy. In fact, I call him my enter trainer. So when I go work out with him, he's so damn entertaining that I forget it's a damn workout. We just laugh, or we get deep, or both. And, I'm dropping these things like, ain't bad, just like somebody will be complaining. I'm just, ain't bad as is. And he goes, bro, you got so many of those damn phrases. You gotta be doing something with those. I'm like, man. He goes, make some shirts. I'm like, okay. So I made shirts. I got all these shirts. I got jillions of shirts with all these phrases on, right? All the mantras. And then somebody else, and it wasn't even my call, somebody else, it was probably Micah, the guy who runs my business, said, you got a book here, man, and it's going to be easy. So after 27 years of these mantras creating themselves through the service, through the work, then it was just easy to collate them, just bring them together and slap them into a book, right? So that's the deal. So it's a toolbox that I would encourage people to get and to use daily, like sit it on your desk and just page through and pick one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can there's 52 of them. We were going to do 50, but then it's like, let's just do 2 more. So you can have one for each week of the year if you want, whatever. Or you just page through it and just see which one works for you that day.
Yeah.
Just pick one, like vibe up, right?
Yeah.
Vibe up. And so today, what I'm going to do is you read the chapter, and all the chapters are short.
Yes.
Some are 1 page. Some of them are. I think the longest one might be 6 pages. Probably not even.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying earlier, right? It's a small book, and it's easy to carry on, and it's literally your toolkit that I really highly recommend a lot of people that if you are those kind of people that need inspiration or motivation in you whenever you're struggling, if you're a busy person and you just have to have a handy with you whenever you're stuck. And this is one of the books that you can have. This is amazing.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly why I created it, is I want it to be a tool, like a tool, right? That people can use to quickly alter their states so that you can get back to creating badassery. So you can get back to being a creative genius, which is what we're all designed to be.
Yeah.
With this, right? So this is like rapid medicine to free us from the conditioning of our past that would have us unnecessarily spend all this time in struggle or in conflict with reality. Struggle, fighting against what is. And these are reminders of how we can work with what is. Getting our minds right so we can work with what is.
And it's super easy to read, that doesn't require you any degree because everyone can understand pretty much. You know, some books is very difficult to read because it's too intense terms that use, for example, all of the psychological or psychologist books, all of this personal intelligence. This is pretty deep, but your book is pretty easy to read that everyone can understand and really.
I understand that. Thanks for saying that, because that is a priority of mine, is to take complex and super simplify. That is really a huge part of my mission. In terms of my content creation, because I create a ton of content, you know, not just the books, but the daily dose in the morning, right? The email blast goes out every day at 6 a.m. And also my blogs that go out every Tuesday, and the podcast happens every other Thursday, Tough Talks. All of it is, I really love to reduce. I like to make things easy.
Yes.
You know, like, because you know, it's interesting when you examine human peak performance and you think about people just crushing it, whether it's athletes or musicians or performers of any nature. When human beings describe their peak performances, their best ever performances, they always use similar descriptors. And one of them is easy or effortless, which is fascinating, isn't it? That like our best ever performances always seem to have been relatively or totally like effortless. Like a musician said, you know, afterwards, after a concert, you're like, yo, that solo was sick. Like, how did you? And they go, I don't know. You're like, what do you mean? It's like the guitar was playing itself. Or a skier, you know, just crushing a slalom run. Like, what were you thinking? Thinking? I doubt that I was. It was just happening. Happening. So I really believe that that's our natural state. Really, that's like what we're designed for.
Yeah, it's true.
To create excellence. So, you know, that's what this does. Is I like to make it simple, right? I want why not have the creation of excellence be simple? So we simplify it. So I appreciate you saying that, Cindy. It is simple.
Yes.
Simple and profound. Simple and profound. That's my favorite combo platter in life.
Simple and profound. Yes. Because, you know, I think one of the reasons why I really recommend this, because in our generation right now, everyone wants pretty quick. It's just like we're running out of time, you know. And this, I always say this, that you can even just spend 5 minutes, 2 minutes, okay, just little by little. And there's no excuse with this, because honestly, if you're a good reader, you can finish this one sitting. Yeah,
and I wouldn't recommend that. That's not the way to read a book, right? Because it's not a book like you're reading a story.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like a toolbox. You might like definitely read the foreword that was written by Devin Bandison that made me cry the first time, second and third time I ever read it. But like, for example, you just pop open and then you see every set of circumstances can be created from if viewed masterfully. All right, so then let's read what that means. That's only 3 pages long. 1, 2, 3 pages long, exactly. Read it, close the book, put it down, reflect. How can I apply this today? All right, so when I catch myself complaining, I'm going to use this mantra today. When I catch myself complaining about anything, I'm going to use this mantra. I'm going to stop my complaint. I'm going to interrupt that behavior, that mindless auto response, low-grade auto response to life complaint. And I'm going to replace it with the mantra, every set of circumstances can be created from if viewed masterfully. So now I've stopped the complaint. Now I'm going to go, so how do I view this masterfully? And here you are completely reprogramming yourself. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's how you use the book. Really, like you could use that. It's just one a day.
Yeah. Well, if I can not compare, but like relatively like Bible, because Bible, it's not a book. You read it by verses, right? So I think for people religious, it's somehow the same. I actually almost
I'll take that. We'll call it the Bible of mental toughness.
There you go. Simple and profound.
Profound. Simple and profound.
So let's talk about some of the mantras that you have there, and obviously you covered already the complaint, and one of that there are so many, actually there are so many, and just want us to tackle two at least.
Okay.
And one of those, like because it's pretty relative with what's happening right now in our generation: create the state, don't wait, which we just covered that about the coaching earlier. So maybe you can share with us your story on create the state and don't wait.
Yeah. So like, when I do actually start defining mental toughness, one of the ways I do that is I say mental toughness is the product of having practiced upgrading the way that you respond to reality so that you can do so very masterfully, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, another way of putting it is you're unlearning.
Love that.
Practice of unlearning all the bullshit that we've learned that we don't even know we've learned, that have like beliefs, for example, that when I don't get what I want, that's bad. And that belief takes up residence in our minds. We don't know it. It's there like a virus affecting us completely every day. Because every day we are not getting what there are examples, situations where we don't get what we want every day, multiple times every day. That ain't bad. That just is. That's life. That's not our mantra. Ain't bad, just is. And it is. It just is life. And it's not a problem unless I choose to interpret it that way. So create the state, don't wait. I mentioned waiting is the number one mistake that I've observed people making, is putting unnecessary time between ourselves and feeling good or being amazing or creating what we want. So create the state, don't wait means, like, if you're going to, like, you hear that for the first time, you're like, I have two questions: create what state and don't wait for what? Like, okay, well, the first answer is whatever state you damn please, because you can think your way into any human state right now. That's how they happen. You think your way, you could create nervousness right now. Just think about something that's coming up and think about screwing it up horrifically. Go do it. And you'll feel nervousness. You can create absolute bliss right now by thinking of something that happened in your life that was just purely so absolutely spectacular, and choose to fill your mind with that. And suddenly you're feeling blissful. That's how you create states. It's not complex, right? And it's easy, and it's profound, and it's simple. So create the state, don't wait. The second was like, well, don't wait for what? Don't wait for anything. Like, all right, well, what's the state that you might want right now? I would like to feel extreme competence. Oh, that's nice. That's beautiful. Okay, good. So don't wait. Why don't you feel competence right now? Well, because I don't really have, my practice isn't thriving yet. And, I don't have any podcast episodes, or I don't have a website, or no one's really hired me, or I haven't made much money, and all blah, 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 all these things, all these sets of circumstances that aren't where you want them to be yet. And you're waiting for those to be different in order to feel competence. Stop it. Cut it out. Knock it off. Stop the waiting. Stop. It's stupid. You're putting time unnecessarily in between you and the creation of excellence. So create state, don't wait. How? Have you ever felt competent in your life? Oh, yeah. All right. When is the time you felt the most competent ever? And they might say, actually, when I was playing youth soccer, I was really, really good. Good. Tell me about it. Okay. Well, there was one game. I scored like 4 goals, and everybody's like, bro, this is your day, man. And the parents were all clapping, and I just felt like a king. I'm like, how you feel right now? Good? Like good, like what? What good? Like be more skilled? That's competence. You just created it. You just put yourself there. Hold the state. Let the memory go and just be that person. Keep that. You just created it out of nothingness. You just created competence. Now go into your meeting like that, or go into your prospecting call with that state. Create the state and then go perform. Create the state, don't wait. Don't wait to see how things go. Don't wait for a certain dollar amount to be in your bank account before you feel financially successful. Create a state of success and financial abundance before you do anything. expertise, competence, enthusiasm. We create all these states. Stop waiting for something in life to happen. You know, there's a great story that Steve Chandler taught me about how this works, why we're all taught to wait. We're actually taught to be victims of circumstances. Let me tell you a short story. Little girl comes home from school and she's all smiles. And her mom sees her and says, oh my God, honey, look at you. You're so happy. That's so great. What, how come? What happened? Why are you so happy? Did you make a new friend at school today? And the little girl says, no, mommy, there were no new students at school today. And the mom says, okay, so what is it? Why are you so, you got cupcakes at recess? And the little girl goes, we didn't have any cupcakes, mommy. And the mom's like, all right, well, what is it? What happened that you got a sticker for your spelling quiz? And the little girl is like, we didn't have a spelling quiz today. So this is a loving exchange between this precious little girl and her hero of the universe, the most influential person in her world, her mom. It's a loving exchange. But embedded within this conversation, this like inquiry, the mom's asking her these questions, and the way the mom crafted the questions, there's a disastrous lesson being taught. The mom doesn't know she's teaching it, of course. The little girl totally doesn't know she's learning it, but it's happening. And the lesson is that there had to be something in the outer world occur that's out of your control, like a new friend, a cupcake, or a sticker, that gives you permission to occupy the state of joy.
Yeah.
The little girl's like, why are you so happy? Honey, what happened? Why are you so happy? What happened? So what you could do, the little girl's hearing, what is the thing in the outer world that occurred that was out of your control that is now giving you permission to feel joy? Because joy isn't causeless. There had to be a thing, a reason. The mom doesn't know she's doing that, and the little girl's learning it. Is I gotta wait for something like a cupcake to happen for me to be able to feel happy. I don't just can't just skip home and say, hey, how about some joy now?
Yeah.
You know? So we all learn that. It's very sneaky, right? And it's part of the human experience, which is fine as long as we understand that and then do the practice. So like create the state, don't wait, is create whatever state whatever state's going to serve you in this moment. And that's a really good question to get into the habit of asking yourself, what emotional state would be really handy for me in this moment, right? So it's like, well, I don't know, like, well, what are you doing? Having lunch. Well, I don't know, whatever. What do you want? It's like gratitude for the food, appreciation. I'm about to give a big like a huge sales pitch. Okay. All right. What would you love? What state would really serve you in that moment? Well, competence. We talked about that. Yeah. Servitude, being a servant, a state of bringing a gift, because your product is a gift. You're going to help solve pain, right? You need to bring that, your product, your beautiful, whatever it is going to help make people's lives better. Come like to that meeting, like you're going to a birthday party with a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
Right? Enthusiasm, bring those into it. Enthusiasm, right? And create those, think your way into those states. And I do this all the time before any event that's significant. Like I create my business. So I have these kinds of calls that I'm doing right now, this role play. I mean, I have it all the time. I sell huge packages to big businesses of coaching. So before I pick up the phone or get on a Zoom call with a decision maker, I actually have a ritual where I am significantly altering my states prior to picking up that call. I'm activating different states. So I'm not waiting to see how the conversation goes.
Love that.
I'm waiting to see if they're in a good mood or if they're interested. I don't care how they're being. I'm governing how I'm being before the call starts.
Yeah.
So that's create the state, don't wait.
I love that because I encountered this many times with the people that I'm surrounded with, that they're looking for an inspiration, motivation to So for example, going to the gym, I need to be inspired. But for you to get inspired, you just got to be there and just run and do something. And I because for me, I'm totally cool being alone, and I always been a creator of my own thing. And I see this with the people I'm surrounded with, that it's been challenging with them. And they always ask me, how can you do that? Like, how can you just pretty okay with being alone? I said, well, I'm just activating everything, so I feel great about myself, and then I can offer it to the world. Well, so it's very interesting that you mentioned that for a lot of people out there, it's not a matter of waiting, really. It's a matter of activating that, creating within you. So whatever life that you're wanting, it's about creating, really, and absorbing and being that moment that you want, that not waiting for other people to do that for you. For coaches, we are navigators, we are the tools, but we are not going to do the work for you. You're still going to be the one who's going to do the work for yourself, right?
Absolutely. I like the example that you used, particularly about waiting. I'm waiting for the inspiration to go work out. Okay, if you need inspiration to go work out, if you believe that's true, which it isn't, but whatever. If you, because there's another mantra for that, which is do it anyway, do it now.
Yeah.
Just do it. But we'll just play devil's advocate here and say, all right, I'll go with it. Inspiration is, we'll say it is in fact necessary for you to motivate and get your ass off the couch to go work out. All right, well, go ahead and create inspiration. Go. What? Get inspired. Because they're thinking, well, inspiration, I'm waiting for the inspiration to come. It's like I'm waiting for the Amazon truck to deliver it. I ordered inspiration. It said it was next day delivery. It's not here yet though. What is inspiration? I love the work that Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of the greatest influencers in my life, and he's got a lot of influence in this book, the book of Mental Toughness. Yeah, absolutely. I love that guy so much. And his work on inspiration, his show, his special on inspiration is profound. And he breaks the word down, inspiration, to mean being in spirit, inspiration, being in alignment with spirit. So how do you create that? How do you feel spirited? What would you need to think of or think about? Right? Just, I don't know, what would you need to think about to feel inspired? What's some inspiration? You can go look at just go on damn YouTube, for God's sake, and put an inspirational video and then go. Listen to some damn amazing, music is so magical, right? Like the vibes of music. Put on one of your favorite songs ever and create that state. Like when I go on, I take bike rides, and I start my bike rides with, I have a soundtrack. And then there's certain songs that have me instantly feel super pumped. One of the songs is the theme song from Rocky.
Oh.
A Philly dude. Why did it get so bright? Does it seem like when I gave you the virtual tour of the office, it's like the camera, like it got really brighter.
Well, anyway. I think it's because of the reflection of the hat, maybe.
Yeah, maybe because there's a lot of light coming. But anyway, so yeah, create inspiration. So did you say there was another mantra that you had picked?
Yes. The other one is, I love this one because it says a lot about what's happening in our life right now, which is embrace uncertainty, which a lot of people don't like, paradox and ambiguity. Talk about that.
Yeah, like whoever made the rule that those things are problems, right? Like, yeah, but that's just so ambiguous. Or it's paradox. I love paradox. Let's start with that one though, because I think more people have problem of the three things: paradox, uncertainty, ambiguity. I don't know if I'm right about this, but my guess would be that people, if you're gonna say, well, what do people have the biggest problem with? And I would say it's uncertainty. I don't know. I may or may not be right. But we've been convinced to believe that there's something uncool about the lack of proof or evidence or clarity of what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's bad.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's because like when we go to a movie, And like we're walking into the theater, and there are people coming out of the theater who just watched the movie and they're talking about it. You're like, no, no, like, you don't want to know that. It's like that brings the uncertainty is what brings the entertainment value. That circumstance. And that can also be true for your life, right? Yeah, but what if it doesn't go the way I want it to? That's pretty standard. And then we use other mantras like create from it.
Yeah.
Ain't bad just is, or better yet, every set of circumstances can be created from. It doesn't go your way, then you get to create from that, something that you wouldn't have even thought of if it wasn't for it not going your way in the first place. Like, you know, the story, do you know the story about Hardison and the flat tire, his flat tire?
Yes, I read that in Ultimate Coach. Yes. But I can't recall. But I do remember I read that. But of course, you can recall, bring that out in this conversation.
Yeah, when you practice loving what is, and that's Byron Katie. What is what you want. When you practice upgrading your response to reality, then you can get to creativity much faster. So then uncertainty is just fun. So Steve is, every summer he's got this, I don't know if it's every summer, but lots of times he'll take this trip, like a 6-day trip somewhere. He'll pick a town, a neighboring state. He lives here in Arizona, but he'll go to like Colorado or Utah, or something. Like last couple summers ago, he went where this story happened. He picked Santa Monica, California. This is his destination. And he'll go for 6 days. And he doesn't have an itinerary. He has an agenda with one item on it. The agenda is to go meet people and co-create magic with them spontaneously.
Nice.
So he loads his car up with all these presents, books and shirts and other things that he's accumulated, to give away to the strangers who he's about to meet and go blow their minds with his, unbelievable service, kindness and love and humor. So he does. He goes to Santa Monica and he has a week full of it, and he documents it so beautifully on social media. So it's really so cool because you're watching really inspired reality TV. So it's beautiful. So he does that, and he's got all these great stories and great posts throughout the week, and then it's over, and he makes his final post and says, "Top Hat tour complete." He called it a top hat tour because he brought a top hat with him. It's pretty funny. He says, "Top Hat tour complete. Now I get to go home and see my amazing girlfriend who happens to be my wife, Amy. I love you. I miss you so much. And I'll be home in like 6 hours." Yeah. So I saw the post. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Man, I love that. I can't wait to see where he goes next summer." But then 3 hours later, there's another post on Facebook from him. And it says, "Apparently, Top Hat tour not yet complete. There's more magic to be created. I get to create more magic or miracles. I have a flat tire. I am 120 miles out from Phoenix in the middle of the desert in 120-degree heat with no spare. I get to create more miracles." Isn't that a fascinating response?
Yes.
To the circumstance that most people would go. Like when I tell the story in a room, right? If I'm doing a workshop, as I'm telling the story and I say, I let that right at that point, I watch people's physical reactions. I watch their body language. Because a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh," I go, "Watch that. Hold that for a second." Because they're automatically responding, "Oh God, that sucks. Oh, 120 degrees, no spare tire. Oh my God. All I wanted to do was just get home and see." It's, oh God. Automatic, right?
Yes.
Like it's not premeditated, it's automatic. So he says, I get to call Porsche, because he drives a little Porsche. And which is why there's no spare, because there's no room in that car. They just don't put spares. There's no room. So he calls, he's like, I get to call, follow this. I get to, which is one of the mantras in the book. Instead of I have to, I get to.
I get to.
Huge shift, huge psychological shift from I have to I get to. right? From obligation and dread to privilege and enthusiasm.
Love
So
that.
I get to call roadside assistants, and whoever answers the phone, I get to make their day. Which wouldn't have happened if I didn't get a flat tire. I wouldn't have had the privilege of being able to go make someone whose job it is to listen to people having a problem all day, complain about it. I get to make their day. What a shift.
Yes.
What an incredibly unique way to choose to respond to that set of circumstances.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
he gets her on the phone, and she answers the phone, this woman and he's like all amped up, and he's so full of fun and joy. And she's like, are you for real? Hell yeah, woo! And she's like, oh, you're making my day, because I called that, and he goes like, so what are we gonna do? What should we do? He's like, we're gonna send Peter out, and Peter's gonna come get you. He's gonna come out with a flat truck, a flatbed, and he's gonna pick up your car, Ebony, and you, and take you home. And he goes, Peter, oh my God, this guy, I'll tell you what, Peter is about to have the ride of his life, and he doesn't even know it. She's laughing just like you are. And she's like, man, this is good. This is goodness.
It is good.
Sure enough, I mean, you know what it's like to work with Hardest, and he has these be with sessions, which are 2 hours long, and they cost 10 grand. So this dude's getting basically $10,000 worth of free coaching while he's working, sitting in a cab, flatbed truck with Hardest, man. You got 2 hours of like, woo. So so that happens, right? So it's just amazing. Now I'm telling this story like I am to you. After I hear it, right, and I read about it, I'm sharing it in my work because it's obviously pretty relevant to what we're working on, what I'm working as a mental toughness coach, is helping people get rapidly to creativity, to creation, enthusiasm, as fast as possible. The ability to respond, responsibility.
Ability, yeah.
Right. So, but I thought I told the story like 15 times, right? Like the next week after it happened. And I got to thinking to myself, am I telling this story accurately? Like, am I embellishing? Am I just like filling in blanks conveniently for me to make a point here? Let me clarify it with him. So I call him up and I said, hey man, I call him Admiral and he calls me Boatness. Those are nicknames. And I said, I got a couple clarification questions for you about this flat tire story. He goes, all right, what do you got? I said, one, honest to God, how long did it take for you to get to enthusiasm after you discovered you're getting a flat tire out there in 120 degrees? Seriously. And he goes, none, 0 time. Like, all right. Second and final clarification question. How were you able to do that? And he said, years and years of practice. Practicing, stopping having a problem with what is, stopping having a problem with paradox, stopping having a problem with uncertainty, stopping having a problem with ambiguity, stopping having a problem with anything. So paradox, uncertainty, and ambiguity are just 3 things that are in, or happen to be, you could fill it in with anything. Right? Stopping, be cool with not getting what you want. Thank God for when I don't get what I want. No, really, I'm serious. I'm not joking, because only then
I'm just laughing because I totally resonate with you. But at the same time, for a lot of people, oh, hell yeah, it's so easy for you to say, you're not in my situation, you're not in my position. But I was like, yeah, that's what Steve Hardison said. It takes practice.
Yeah, and that is it. That's what it is. It's practicing. We have no shortage of opportunities, because if you really slow down and look closely at how you go through your days, you spend a lot of your day having a problem with reality, like a lot of it.
Yeah.
One scientific research study suggested that we humans on average complain once every 11 seconds. So if they're right, and most of these complaints are not even spoken. They don't even make it into the verbal world. They happen silently inside of us.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I'd be like, what does that mean? It means you're having, in that moment, even if it's fleeting, you have just practiced having a problem with what is, and you didn't even choose it. to you actually getting better at having a problem with what is. So if you slow down and pay attention to how frequently throughout the day you are actually practicing having a problem with what is, you could actually get really excited about that, because every one of those is an opportunity to use a mantra or to simply make your own damn mantras up, right? But the point is to upgrade your response in that moment to life so that you can get back to elevated states which activate all forms of intelligence. All the intelligence centers of the brain are activated from high grade states like enthusiasm and gratitude, right? And others. And then we get to the creation of excellence with speed and less effort.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the word practice, really, and because I think a lot of people really getting impatient nowadays, and also upgrading, as what our mental toughness coach CD said, upgrading your thinking, upgrading, and it always takes practice. I used to be having this invitation of negative thinking, even though I'm optimistic by nature, but human being, but at the same time getting the practice so you can catch that and then reframe that into a highest way of thinking. So thank you so much.
It's interesting that you said that right there, because I was doing a podcast yesterday with someone and they said the same thing as reframing, and I was thinking about, I don't actually look at this as reframing. This is actually not reframing. I understand what reframing is. Over there on my wall, those are 5 golden discs of my first audio program for my first book, Creating Your Dream.
Nice.
That was given to me by the guy who produced it, right? And as a gift. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's really beautiful, right? So you just take those 5 discs and you put them in a pile. It's just like 5 stupid CDs sitting there, right? But then you throw them like that and you situate them and you put that beautiful frame around it with a mat and this beautiful back. That's reframed and now it looks pretty. It's the same thing. That's not what we're doing here. We're not reframing something to have it look prettier. We are literally changing the way we're thinking about the thing.
Okay,
so we're stopping, because I mean, is it true that traffic sucks? No, it's not. No, that's just an interpretation. It's just what is traffic? Traffic is a bunch of cars in a congested space, people in them going places. The end. Slowly. That's what traffic is. That's what traffic is. It's not a pain in the ass. Doesn't suck until you have that story.
Yes, agree.
Right? Then the question is, does that story serve you? And no one's going to ever say yes. No one can ever give me any evidence of how that makes them be amazing. So then the next question is, what would a better story be? Since we're authoring all of our stories anyway, so what would a story be? I'm blessed to have a car. I'm blessed to be going where I'm going. Thank you to all the people who created these amazing roads that I get to use. And create new stories, So that's the practice. That is the practice. Getting repetitions and repetitions and repetitions all day, taking no days off, no hours off, no minutes off. And that's not exhausting. That's actually invigorating.
Yes.
No time off from elevating your state, because that's not exhausting. That's inspiring. What's exhausting is staying in the low grade state to have a problem.
Exactly. So my question for you is that picking one mantra to give like a piece of tip as well for a lot of people getting exhausted of comparison, obsession, addiction with social media. What could be the best mantra that you could share on that to elevate the way of thinking into more mental toughness?
Specific to social media?
Yeah, because I think because what I'm seeing with a lot of people nowadays is having a hard time to at least in the circle of people that I know, and it had also been part of the conversation with a lot of people, that you are not able to detach yourself with the use of social media, and you becoming obsessed with it, like you're literally the robot of it. And a lot of people might not even recognize that, but they know that it's not good for them. And they just don't know how to get out of that. So if you have a particular one mantra that you could suggest.
I mean, just listening to you, okay, so one of them that I thought about, like if you're talking about like a social media addiction, where I'm going to social media in order to get high grade states, like to look, like seeing how many likes did I get, how many likes did I get.
Exactly.
If that's what you're describing, then there's a couple. And one we already talked about, which is create the state, don't wait. What state? What are you going on social media for? What is it that you're searching for right now that you're hoping to get out of the social media? So answer that, whatever it is, acknowledgement, connection, whatever it is, it's totally legit. There's no problem wanting that. That's healthy. It's a healthy desire. It's beautiful. I mean, you're looking for something great, but you're depending upon social media to give it to you. All right. So answer the question. What is it that you're hoping to get out of your social media hunt right now? And can you turn the monitor off and create that state for yourself with your thinking? Right. So create the state is one. Right. Create the state, don't wait is one, but we already talked about that one. There's another one, which is, it might not be perfect for this one, for this circumstance that you're asking, but there's some relevance, which is if your memory was better, you would realize how amazing you are. One of the things that we forget about, that because of the conditioning of our past, is how spectacular we actually all are, right? Because we've been conditioned to focus on where we failed. It's so much easier when I ask people to make a list of how you screwed up recently. Well, actually, I ask them first. I say, create a list of how you've really just been amazing lately. Yeah. And then they're like, oh. And then I say, and now give me a list of how much stuff you screwed up lately. And I go,
so many. Easier.
How much time do I have? And it's not because they're being accurate. It's because they're we have been conditioned to selectively attend to our shortcomings and where we have fallen short, as opposed to where we've demolished it. So over there on the corner of my desk, here are my success story folders. Right. So every day I've added to it today. I added an email today, where I got a piece of feedback. So I'm constantly accepting, right, the offerings from the world on the magnitude of my impact. And it's not because I'm feeding my ego. I do that perfectly by myself. It's to acknowledge excellence, to help me stay clear on how amazing I am. So if my memory is better, that is why it's sitting there. So I don't have to rely on memory. It's right there on the corner of my desk in my eye line of sight. If my memory is better, you remember how amazing you are. And maybe I wouldn't need validation from social media.
Love it.
Yeah, right. So that's it. So I'll just throw that out as a suggestion for whoever's listening or watching this, is to create a success story folder of your own, but not a digital one, not on your computer. It's going to require you to remember to click it. Nope. Have it be a physical folder like that of some sort, something physical, and then practice accepting offerings. No matter, they don't have to be monumental, just little, I really love the way your podcast, I listened to your podcast. It was really beautiful. Keep it, take that, right? Throw it in there. And then every time you look at that, you are reminded how damn amazing you are. And that empowers you to go out and serve the world better.
I love it. I love it. And that actually even answered my next question, which I always love to ask all the people I interview, is that how do you keep yourself optimistic? Well, for you, I kind of like answering already, like you have this mantra. This mental toughness mantra is already an equivalent for you to keep yourself optimistic. And also the story of that file who's giving you this amazing story that happened to them because of how you touched their lives.
I don't identify myself as an optimist.
Okay, interesting. Okay, tell me about it.
Yeah, it's actually, I prefer it to be better than that. because optimism is like, to me, is like, oh, it'll get better. This problem will. Here's a good way of explaining it. The pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist is sure it'll go away. Whereas the realist is like, what does it matter with you two? Sets their sails and hauls across the sea. So there's three characters in this story, right? There's the pessimist, who is simply having a real problem with what is and complaining about it, unapologetic. The optimist, along with the pessimist, sees the wind as a problem, but is like, this too shall pass. Right? So they're still seeing the wind as a problem. So the optimist and the pessimist are having a problem with reality. Whereas the realist, who uses all of reality, creates from it all, says, takes some action and capitalizes, creates from it. Says, oh, this wind is useful to fill my sails. I can soar. So I don't identify myself as an optimist because I don't want to practice putting some weird spin on the problems. I want to stop experiencing reality problematically at all. So I don't need optimism. I'm just cool with reality. I'm cool with what is. So the realist is cool with reality can't be upgraded. So when I was studying in India at the Oneness University, they kept saying this beautiful phrase: we are freeing ourselves from the conditioning of our past so that we can experience reality as it is in all of its infinite splendor. So I want to be that realist, the person who appreciates how perfect and beautiful reality is, and then he plays with it all day long.
I love when you say that you're a realist, because you focus on what is and taking action. And I love that because for me is that I'm always been optimistic, but at the same time taking action. But I guess something I've learned today is also having that realization, or realist, but taking action anyway, and really freeing yourself of what is and taking action and elevating yourself. Love it. Amazing. We covered so many mantras, even though we didn't really pick that one, but because of our conversation, it's been amazing. So guys, everyone, if you found this conversation really interesting and you so curious what else mantras that you can find and will be helpful and valuable for you, it's going to be available soon, or it's already available in Amazon?
Available right now.
Awesome.
It's available right now. Like I said, it happened while I was sleeping. I woke up this morning and the first email I saw was, congratulations, your book is published. So
awesome.
the book. Oh, it's so fun. I'm just gonna keep doing that because it's fun. The book of mental toughness mantras is available now on Amazon.
Amazing. So everyone, also, if they want to contact you, or some people across the globe, maybe looking for someone who would need a deeper understanding of mental toughness, conversation, where they can find you.
Yeah, well, I definitely would recommend also that, go to my homepage or go to my website. My website is really, really robust. I have an amazing, unbelievable team run by Micah Guller, who creates my website as well as many other things. And so the homepage is cool because there's cool video on it, but also to the right on the homepage at ChristopherDorris.com. Christopher Dorris, DORRIS.com. And right there, you can sign up for the daily dose that I mentioned. So the daily dose, mental toughness tips in 30 seconds or less. I'm so proud of that creation, right? Because when you sign up, you just put your name, your email, and click, and then you're going to get the goods every morning at 6 a.m., wherever you are in the world. As long as you sign up from your home time zone, the computer grabs that. And around 6 a.m.-ish, every day of the year, you will get a mental toughness tip that you can consume in literally 30 seconds or less, unless you're like the world's slowest reader. But they help you get your head right first thing in the day. They help you remind, they help you elevate like these do, but you don't have to remember to pick up the book. So the daily dose, you can sign up for it right there on the homepage. You can connect on the website. It'll show you where to connect with me on social media. I'm really totally active on Facebook as well as LinkedIn and even Instagram.
There you go, everyone. Amazing. I love you shared about the daily dose. I think that could be also useful for people on the go. You know, every 6 a.m. in the morning, if you sign up, you have a mental toughness dose for you to keep yourself amazing. You know, so thank you very much for these wonderful opportunities of getting more about the book, Mental Toughness Mantra. So thank you, Chris, for this of this opportunity. CD, like CD, it's like a very interesting short name, like CM for me, Cindy Marie. I truly honor this opportunity. And everyone, if you find this episode very valuable, once again, you can catch CD on his website, christopherdoris.com. So many valuable information. He has a very cool YouTube videos as well. And even don't forget to subscribe and follow his podcast. I think it's amazing. If you really want to build that mental toughness, just like CD, you know where to find him. And don't forget to share this episode so our website also will grow organically. So thank you so much. Thank you, CD, for this opportunity.
Yeah,
and
you're welcome. And I really appreciate it. You're so incredibly generous and gracious and a phenomenal hostess. So thank you so much, Cindy Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy that interview and I hope you find it inspiring and motivating. Remember, stay optimistic and keep taking action slowly but surely for your big dreams. Thank you once again, and I'll see you on the next episode here at Empower Your Life.